So what's going on, guys? I'm Black Ops Amazing. Welcome back to another video on the channel, where what I wanted to do in this video is take a look at a ton of comments that a former Treyarch and Infinity Ward developer who specifically worked on the zombies modes in both of these games, well, Zombies and Extinction for Infinity Ward, and he also worked on Zombies and I think it was Blackout in BO4, so he's had experience with both of these studios, both Zombies modes, both iterations. This developer, who I'm guessing most of you would have heard of, is Lee Ross. Most of his time was spent working at Infinity Ward, but towards the later end for Black Ops 4 he worked on that mode, Zombies. And so I thought I'd make a video on this because for me this is super interesting. I always love getting inside scoops of my favourite developers. It doesn't even have to be video games, anything I'm interested in. If there's someone who's actually worked on that, someone from the inside who can give out information, that's always interesting to me. So I thought this would make for a pretty good video because actually some of the tweets that Lee Ross did put out on Twitter are, well, you'll see throughout this video, and I'm sure everyone's seen this legendary photo of the three developers, Lee Ross, who is on the left, Jason Blundell, the main man, in the middle, and then we have Cameron Drayton on the right, who I think worked on World War II Zombies. Obviously Jason was Black Ops Zombies and Lee Ross was mainly Infinite Warfare Zombies and Extinction, but also BO4 Zombies as well. Funnily enough, every single one of these developers no longer works for Activision or any of their studios. Jason set up his home studio, which is Deviation Games. Cameron Drayton's no longer there, neither is Lee Ross. All working at different studios now, all at one time heads of their Zombies modes. But getting back to what I was saying, so over on Twitter, Lee did a Q&A where he answered a bunch of questions from you guys, and some of the answers he gave I thought were video worthy and maybe kind of controversial since he no longer works at Activision. If he was still working there, I very much doubt some of the stuff he says here would have still been said. Anyway, a couple I thought were quite funny. Someone asked him, any plans on any more Zombies? Love that style of gameplay. Zombies now is trash, we need you back. And Lee replied, unfortunately, I'm not at Activision, so if it's gonna happen, it isn't gonna be by me. We haven't actually seen a Zombies mode from Infinity Ward for quite a while now. We're not getting it for Modern Warfare 2, we didn't get it for the original Modern Warfare, or the one that came out a couple of years ago. It's been quite a while since we've seen anything Zombies related from Infinity Ward, so I almost feel like we're not going to get Zombies from that studio again, and from now on it might just be a Treyarch thing like it used to be. The next thing that someone asked him was, first off, Infinite Warfare is probably my favourite Zombies experience I've had, but my question is, will we ever see you develop another Zombies experience? I love the IW Zombies story, and I want to see it continue one day. And Lee said back, if given the opportunity, 100%, but I need complete creative control and no bullshit studio head involvement. This kind of sounds like a dig towards Activision, saying that if he was to ever do another Zombies mode again, which makes it seem like what he's working on now with this new studio isn't Zombies related, but if he ever was to do Zombies again, he would need 100% complete creative control. And because he says no bullshit studio head involvement, yeah, this kind of sounds like a little bit of a dig towards what he experienced at Infinity Ward, or specifically with Activision. And I think Jason Blundell went through the same thing as well. There were rumours, and in that little video he did with his new studio, you could kind of tell, and we know this anyway, that even the people at the top, which Lee Ross and Jason were, don't get 100% creative freedom. They're still controlled by Activision, which in the case of Zombies especially, because it is such a creative mode compared to multiplayer in the campaign, in my opinion, not giving developers 100% creative freedom does harm the mode, which could be a reason why over the past couple of years Zombies has dwindled, why it's been on the downfall. So yeah, Lee pretty much having a dig there, saying when he did work at Infinity Ward, he didn't have complete freedom over the mode. So if he was to do Zombies again, that's what he'd want, not studio heads getting involved. Now, the next bunch of questions I wanted to show you guys are more related to the Treyarch side of his work, which for me, because on this channel I do more Treyarch Zombies than Infinity Ward, that is one regret I do have, is not playing Infinite Warfare Zombies more. I know a lot of people, now that the game's finished, say that Spaceland is one of the best Zombies maps ever. I can't say that just because I didn't play it as much when it came out, and now I feel like it's almost too late to go back. Admittedly, at the time when it came out, I wasn't 100% keen on it, but I do know a lot of people like it, which makes me kind of regret not playing it more. But as I was saying, he was asked a bunch of Treyarch related questions. The first one was, what is your favourite non-IW Zombies map? And that is Mob of the Dead. The next one, which is on the edge of controversial, someone asked Lee, what are your thoughts on Cold War Zombies? And he said, respect to the team that brought the game to life, given the time and resources. At the end of the day, very talented people did their best to entertain you with the undead. Now, although this is a compliment, he's saying the game's good, it does in a way, especially the way he's worded it, kind of sound like he's not too keen on it, or he's pretty much saying sarcastically, that's the wrong way to word it, but just how he says at the end of the day, very talented people did their best to entertain you. It definitely doesn't sound like it's his favourite zombies mode. It does kind of sound similar to my opinion on Cold War Zombies as well. It's very obvious, or pretty much it's fact, that Treyarch didn't have too much time to work on Cold War Zombies. I think it was it a year and a half, something like that? I don't know. It wasn't a full Treyarch game. It is clear to see, especially at the beginning with D Machine, Treyarch tried their best all the way through, but at the beginning I loved Cold War Zombies. D Machine was an amazing map, but then as we went on through that game's life cycle, I just became less and less of a fan of it. I think most of that was down to the maps. D Machine felt like a proper zombies map, fully made for that mode, but then as we went through Firebase C and then to Mauer and especially Forsaken, they felt more like multiplayer maps to me, or campaign, than a map that was unique to zombies, along with a load of other things that I wasn't really too keen on as well, such as adding multiplayer mechanics to zombies, making it feel less unique, not having a set playable cast. I don't think the storyline was as strong. For most of the maps we were missing intro cutscenes, or for some like D Machine for example, we didn't have an outro cutscene. There was just a lot missing from that game compared to previous ones, so it does kind of sound like Lee's being not sarcastic, but saying Treyarch tried their best with what they had. Doesn't sound like he's saying, yeah, it was a great game. And he pretty much confirms that when in the next question somebody else asks him, rank all zombies games, and he goes, IW Zombies first, which you can't blame him, he worked on that, that's his game, then BO2 Zombies, then BO3, then World at War, then World War II Zombies, and then we have Cold War and Vanguard last. We expected Vanguard to be last. The fact that he's got Cold War Zombies second to last, and then we go back and look at what he just said about that zombies mode, I think it's pretty obvious that he wasn't a big fan of it. It is interesting to me that he has BO2 Zombies over BO3. I think for most people, Black Ops 3 would be number one, and he has missed BO1 and BO4 zombies off this. Maybe he just doesn't rate them at all, which I could accept for BO4, but I'm pretty sure he would rate BO1, so I think he just forgot about those. But yeah, this is an interesting tier list, especially from someone who has a lot of zombies experience, who has also worked on Treyarch Zombies, granted it be BO4. The only thing I would really change is I'd put BO3 at the top, and then IW Zombies, simply because I haven't played it enough between Cold War and Vanguard. Again, it's just because I haven't played it. Someone also asked him, were we ever going to see some of Willard's original films such as Nightmare Summer, Murder High, etc.? Was another cast planned for IW2? And then the rest of the question I have no idea what he's on about, but Lee Ross replies, undecided. What I can tell you is I damn near rolled the entire Treyarch universe into Willard's films. Yes, I was Out for Blood, so I don't know if he's being sarcastic there, but Lee is pretty much saying he almost combined the IW Zombies universe into Treyarch's universe, which would have been really interesting. We have seen recently in Shi No Numa Reborn, Treyarch have just combined the Chaos universe and the Ether universe together, or the Dark Ether universe. So can you imagine Treyarch's storyline being involved in the IW zombie story? Someone else then sent him this, where pretty much not going through all of it, it says, how ironic is it that the most hated Call of Duty of all time was the most consumer friendly? We got free DLC weapons, rewarded for crafting materials, supply drops, keys. The game did so much right, but none of you acknowledged it because you'd rather ride an unwarranted hate train. But Lee said, I did my absolute best to educate the masses to things we were doing right, but at the time we weren't Treyarch, so there was an unwarranted hate galore. Depressing. At the end of the day, I damn near sacrificed my life to make something great, and I'll never take that back. And that's a super, I guess, sad insight to development, especially Call of Duty, because everyone has that one developer that we all love. For the most part, it's either Treyarch or Infinity Ward. When it comes to zombies, it's mainly Treyarch. He is talking about the whole game here, but even zombies especially, we know at the beginning, towards the end it was different, it got quite a bit of love, or years later I should say, but when Infinite Warfare did come out, there was so much hate for this game. I think it was one of, if not maybe the most disliked video ever on YouTube, the trailer. It did, looking back at it now, get a lot of unwarranted hate. People say that Infinite Warfare's campaign is the best. Personally, haven't played it recently. I don't think so. I think it starts off good, then gets a little bit boring. Again, with the zombies mode, years later, people say that that was the best to some people, but he isn't wrong in a way when he does say, because we aren't Treyarch, we got a lot of unwarranted hate. Say that if Infinite Warfare Zombies was Treyarch Zombies, I think it would have been different. And it is kind of sad looking back on it now when he says, and maybe we can take something from this and apply it to Vanguard Zombies. But he says, yeah, we got a lot of unwarranted hate with that game just because we weren't Treyarch. It was depressing because Lee sacrificed a lot of his time to make something that he thought was great, or that was great. So there we go. There were about 20 more questions that Lee answered, mainly to do with IW zombies, but I wanted to show you these ones specifically because not only do they give you an insight to development, what developers go through, but we also get Lee's thoughts from a developer's point of view, working at both Treyarch and Infinity Ward, on what he thinks about zombies. To me, this is super interesting. Maybe you guys don't think that and it's been just a waste of time, but I thought this was something I'd want to know about and watch, so I'd make it. Anyway, there we go. Let me know your thoughts in the comments section below. What do you think? As always, hopefully you've enjoyed the video today. If you have, drop a like rating. Make sure you are subscribed to stay up to date with the latest content on the channel. I never say this, I'm never really, even though I say make sure you are subscribed, it's just a habit. I'm not actually trying to push for it, but I will say we have been close to 700,000 subscribers for a long time. It would be nice if we could hit that. So if you aren't subbed, I'd appreciate that. But yeah, thank you all for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Until then, goodbye.